Welcome, guys. Welcome. This is the start of a new sort of series of Age of Wonders 4. So there is going to be a playlist if you're watching this on YouTube. So there's going to be I think it's called the Halfling Story at this stage. I may change that depending on what we end up doing. Also, I will sort of point out this is going to be the introduction. Well, it's going to be the intro into the start of our game. I can only play for about an hour and a half at most today, before I head off to the beach. But it's the so in this case we're going to be sort of rushing through some of the aspects. I do want to cover what's come in the new DLC, the Secrets of the Archmages. This is very much story driven with what's actually going on in the game. I'll just make that down a little bit. So it says, unravel the hidden powers of the cosmos in Age of Wonders 4, Secret of the Archmages. Follow the footsteps of Athla's renowned wizard kings. Discover the secret arts that they learnt and face the perils left in their wake as they ventured through the most infamous worlds in the astral sea. Now, there's a lot going on through here where there is actually it's very story driven, but there's one aspect about this which is really, for me, super exciting, because I don't tend to sort of play story driven content, but I will, I think, in this run, and I don't know how far in I'll go with it, but I'm thinking there's three new stories that have come into it. They follow on from a lot of your old favourite factions and a lot of your old favourite characters. Like if you have played Age of Wonders 4, the Age of Wonders series, if you've played that for any length of time, there will be certain characters that you'll be aware of, like Carissa, for example, Arachna. These are different characters that have sort of developed over time, going right back to the very, very first Age of Wonders. And so they certainly sort of get more developed and more fleshed out, and actually with completely different looks to them in this particular DLC, which is doesn't sound all that exciting to me, but it actually is a big step up. The stories themselves are very divergent. You've got different ways you can play the stories this time. Instead of it just sort of being more of a linear story inside a random world, now it's a divergent story inside a random world. So you've got different ways to play it. There's a lot of replay value in the stories themselves. But there's a couple of other things which I really want to gloss over them as fast as I possibly can. If we go to new game, these are the stories down the bottom here. So you've actually got Burrow Downs, which is probably the one that we'll end up playing, which is an interesting one. So we'll come back and start that one in just a minute. The thing you'll sort of notice through here is that there is, in each of these instances, we've got a thing called Shrouded Isles. And this is really, really, for me, super, super interesting. So even if you don't play the story realms, you can still play with these Shrouded Isles, and I think for me that's going to be almost a must-have in games going forward. This I think could be really, really fleshed out by Triumph Studios into the future. They could do a lot of work here and really make this extremely interesting. There's two flavours. You get Breached Isles, which are already sort of open, and you can sort of make use of them. I'll show you actually in game, and I'll show you like this. Okay, I'm going to warn you. There's massive spoilers coming up in just a minute. So I'll warn you again, just in case you don't want to sort of see certain things in the stories. I don't want to sort of expose too much in the stories, but there are a few things I do want to show you, and so I will actually be giving spoilers to some of the stories. I think I'll actually show. Let's do this one here. Circles of Power this is all part of the. This is the Secrets of the Archmages story realm. There's three of them in these Secrets of the Archmages story realms. This is the Askren Pit. I think this one's got a really interesting aspect to it. Let's go and spoil this story for you. So I'll get into it, and then we'll actually, and then I'll tell you when the spoilers are up, just so you can sort of leap forward maybe about 5 or 10 minutes until we sort of get back out and sort of start our actual game. So I'm just going to go and select this story. With each of these, you can decide who you're going to bring into the actual fight itself. We do actually have, now you've got different difficulties. I'll keep it on easy in this instance because we're not going to be playing this one. But there's a few extra stuff now that you sort of start to see. These I don't think are playable. These are expendable legions. So life is cheap in this realm, with comes a near limitless supply of recruits. Have elites and powerful monsters are in turn much harder to come by. So tier 1 units have their recruitment costs decreased by 50%. Tier 1 units gain expendable. So expendable is the unit's death does not affect the allies' morale. Tier 3 and high units have recruitment costs in cities increased by 50%. I don't know if we can play them in the random game, you know. There's a fair few of these. Might even come back and have a look at that. But it's the reason I'm going to be spoiling a story. Actually, maybe I shouldn't spoil the story. I can just do a random map. Which way should we go here? Which way should we go? I'm not sure. There's a model in here I wanted to show. There's actually a unit. I think I can do it through spoiling. I think I will actually keep on showing this one through here. Anyway, there's a fair few of these map modes, but the big one is this Shrouded Isle, which I'll show you in just a second. Now we have to choose a new one. There is actually a new group that has come back through. It's these guys in through here, which are now the Alkin. I'll just play with this one that comes with the game for now, just to sort of show it. But I think we'll end up creating like an Alkin sort of group ourselves. And so these have now, instead of just being the Avians, which they had brought in, which one was the Avians that they brought in? That was... I think where they all are now. So heaps of them that they've actually had. Where are they? Where are they? Can't see them there. Anyway, there's you can filter, of course. We can do that and do it from the Empire and Ashes. Yeah, these were the other aliens. Whoa, hang on. Possible corrupt file. Okay. Damn it! I hope that's going to be okay. Anyway, that's the Avians, which I'll just go and reset and go back, and I'll just play with one of these guys. Anyway, let's just go and close that one off and get started. So select the faction. We'll just get into the game, and then I'll just show you a cheat that you can then use to see what's going on, sort of, which is a good way to test things. I won't play all this stuff. I just want to sort of skip past the story elements here and just really show what is brought in. This is actually a one where they've actually created a whole sort of demonic aspect to the game itself as you get into it. And I'm thinking if I do this, if I show a cheat, I think we'll be able to then look at this at sort of the premise. And I try not to give too many spoilers away into the actual story itself, but just getting the premise of it is, I think, fairly interesting. Yep, so Chris is saying, looking forward to this. The DLC dropped today on GOG. For me, I have the expansion. Oh, cool. Okay, so that dialogue box popped up and I thought it was my screen. Yeah, no, I don't know what that one was. I just flipped across from one version, like the test version to the launch version, so I didn't verify my files, so hopefully it'll all be okay. I'll have to verify them properly when I finish up today, I think. So hi Began, how you going? And hi everybody else as well. So it's all loading in. So these are story campaigns, but much richer and deeper than what they've done before in the past. But it's not the story themselves which is what I'm most excited about. So this is the start for us. So we just actually have our group coming back in through here. So this is this is one of the Alkin that come with the game itself. Let's go click on OK. Okay, arrive, clear, blah blah blah. So it's going to be very much story. I'm not going to show the story so much. Now, before you, low before you, Israel Arbiter of Obadoth is it clashes face to face with none other than Carissa, the Fury. Now, Carissa is this. Look, I'm sort of glad I can show this sort of stuff. This is the Carissa from like the red-headed Carissa just extended deeper into the story realms now. So the story realms aren't precursors to the story, they're actually subsequent stories to where you've been with Age of Wonders. And so Carissa is now sort of like become demonic almost, and you can see all the burn marks all over her, the hair is different, etc., etc. And so we can just, and this is actually where, again, we're showing the divergence in the story realm itself. So you get to choose who you're going to then follow. So you can side with essentially like an Archon back in through here, who is trying to keep the demonic forces at bay, or Carissa, who's trying to let them go. So again, you've got very, very different like paths here. Let's just side with Carissa in this instance. So that's the two of them there, where we can sort of see Carissa in through this other side, and we can sort of see that she is now a different model in through that aspect for the actual story itself. So I'll just say goodbye. This is us, that's them over this other side. But what I really wanted to do was to actually now show the massive spoiler for this particular story. I am going to wreck this story for you if you are watching this one. So if you want to skip past, it'll probably be 5 minutes of me just showing you what is in this one, and then we'll come back and sort of start an actual start. So I'm going to use a cheat mode. If you're using cheats, just be careful when you do actually activate them. They will stop you from getting any progression at all in any game that you've done. So if you're going to use cheats, do it early, just to sort of see what's going on, but don't do it if you've actually got like an ongoing game that you've accrued a lot of points. So we're going to go Control-Alt-C, which will then open up the cheat little thing in through here. And as you start to type things, you'll sort of find, like I'm going to type in the word Barents. So if I go B-A, and then we'll see it come up through here, explores and reveals the entire map. So this is going to wreck the story if you're looking at this one. So I'm just going to go Barents, and then just going to click on Enter. And at that point, we're then going to get all sorts of different story elements. Okay, I'll just click on different things. So these are all the different stuff that we're now coming across. I'm not going to just click whatever the bottom story is there. But we should now be able to sort of see all sorts of different things going on in the actual game itself. What I wanted to show you was the progression into the Shrouded Isles more than anything, because this is, there we go, yeah, I've still got this corrupted file. I might have to try to fix that. I think we'll still be okay. Breached Isles and Shrouded Isles are two very, very different things now. So when we sort of have a look back in through here, you'll see that this is actually a breached isle already. This has already been breached, and there will be somewhere on the actual world map. So this is like a mini little it's a shrouded area. It's a small self-contained zone with goodies in it. It's like so it's sort of like like an extra richer region of the actual map itself. And so with these with these portals, if I go back and click on that one through there, it comes from this one here in the underground. So this particular one has got one coming from the underground to it, and so that one then does sort of go through into the Shrouded Isles back in through here. So, and what you can then go and do is you can spend, you can actually capture these and bring them into anywhere you like within your realm. So you can end up with all of the actual locations coming off your city. So you can actually teleport these portals into your own area. So these are like little mini worlds, but there's heaps of them. Look at the mini map over here. Now there's one I do want to show the model here. I think this will be it. No, that's not it. This is yeah. There's all sorts of special stuff that's going on here. I think that may be it, but it's all sort of, it's very specific, but really quite unusual. Now this is not one of these breached realms. When you don't have a breached realm, you have like a silver location in the middle here with an incredibly powerful spell. So just be aware of that as well. This is actually something where the game will turn on its head when you start to go into one of these worlds that you have to then go and breach yourself. And so we actually don't have a breach from here. What we need to then go and do is create the portal to then be able to crack open these worlds. But this is considered a major threat to the AI players. So when you're playing the game, if you do breach your own isle, like if you actually go into a Shrouded Isle, which is what this one is, that then becomes, because of the power of taking this particular location, it's monstrously threatening to the AI players. So just be completely aware of that. That's going to be sort of something that you will need to take into account if you do start to breach them. The AI won't crack open this themselves, but they will if they see you starting to move towards it. That's something that they will act on. Breached Isle there again, so this one's already breached. These are just going to be sort of like, you can see that these ones here are lesser. These have already been sort of like looted as such. So these are sort of just like, these ones here, you get okay, so it can be restored in the Shrouded Arcanum. So again, this is, actually this one's silver. So this is still a silver. I thought it was a bronze. No, it's only a bronze. Yeah, adds one or more unknown units. So we get unknown units from this one to the Rally of Lieges. These are still very powerful, even all of these. So these are all sort of like small, sort of almost story-driven style areas. They're not super difficult to get into. Again, Breached Realm through there, Breached Realm there. So most of these will be Breached Realms because they've already got the portal. But that's sort of like that's the sort of spoiler that we see. I don't think we're going to see the really big one, which is fine. But you can see they've all got their own theme to them. This one is also one that has to be, this is a Shrouded Isle, which means it has to be then breached open, and from there sort of go through to its actual main location in the middle through here. So this particular Yasriel's Arcanum back into the other side again, it will then give all sorts of really powerful aspects. But this is something you can play even outside of the story realms to actually have it. Now it's not showing the one I wanted to show. This may be it here. This is it here actually. This is actually a special. There's a special demon locked in this particular location, which they've spent a lot of work sort of animating. I got to see this firsthand when I was actually visiting Triumph Studios like a few weeks ago now. But they showed the animation of how this all works, just this little aspect. I thought it may have been completely unlocked. I haven't tried using this cheat here, but this is actually sort of like a massive demon that you can then, that sort of comes into the story. This one I think is this one breached? Yeah, this one here you've got to breach this particular one. So how do you breach these things? Let's go back up to the normal world and have a bit of a look. And I'll just go to you've got so you've got like different sort of cities around the place. That's the city of the Archon that we sort of see in the actual game itself. There's just all sorts of stuff that they've actually put into this particular story realm. I'm not giving too many spoilers away, I don't think, at this stage. But what we're looking for here is we're actually looking for a different type of location. I'll just see if I can find it. Where you then need to sort of collect 3 of them. I can't see it there. They've got different algorithms. They showed us also how they build the algorithms for the game, which is pretty cool. Oh, there's one. So these are these in through here. If I just go and click on this one, this is an ancient obelisk. And once you pick up one of them, you'll need to get 3 of them. Once you've got 3 of them, you'll go into one of the Shrouded Isles, not the Breached Isles. The Breached Isles will sort of see, though they should actually have the icons like this. Is that one of them? No, that's not it. Yeah, that's not it there. That's it there. These have already been breached open. So these go straight through to that Shrouded Isle location. The reason I'm so excited about the Shrouded Isle whole premise of this one is it reminds me a lot of Warlock or Warlock 2, where you actually ended up with these mini worlds that went off the main world. And so we now have access to, like, and I think this could be really, really fleshed out into the future to do all sorts of random things in here. So I'm really looking forward to playing with these breached isles and shrouded isles. I hope that that this gets fleshed out a heap in the future. Anyway, that's pretty much what in a nutshell, that's what you get with this DLC. But this is super exciting. So anyway, let's just go back out. There wasn't too many spoilers there. That was actually okay, because we rattled through that. If I just go and surrender this one, I'll show you what I mean. Like if we surrender our run, and because we cheated, not just me, you did as well. If I show the journey and click on done and then go back into it, actually it may not even be saved. No XP was awarded because a cheat was used. So if you do use the cheats, there's heaps of them. If you do use the cheats, just be aware you're not going to get anything for your Pantheon. Let's have a quick look at the Pantheon before we sort of get started. So we get nothing there. So if you are playing a game where you've just played heaps and heaps and heaps of it, then you will find that you will actually be, that could be, like if you use a cheat, just be aware that you are going to lose all of your points. So that's the Sithil saying, I never cheat. I like to show the scope of what can happen there, but certainly with these story realms, you don't want to be using that sort of cheat to see what's going to happen. It didn't really show too much about what's going to happen. When I was at Triumph Studios, they did actually show us the sort of where that ends up with that big demon locked away with all of those chains once it's been released, and that is a major part of the story of that particular story realm. Just read a few of the comments here, guys. I thought you never went for stories, Daz. Well, this one is based around stories. Now, I don't need to if I don't want. If I just click on done for example, I can build. I can go to create realm, and I will see if those other bits and pieces do come through. So we don't have to use the story realm. The thing I like about the story realm is that all of them are divergent. So you can actually, diverge into different parts. It's almost like a build your own story type adventure. And do we have to sort of show that? We don't have to. We can still go and, if we go to customize realm and through here and have a bit of a look. I don't think there's anything, so just going through what the DLC does actually add in. The actual geography, there's nothing else in through there. The climate traits, I don't think there's anything here either. Oh yes, there is. Warped seasons. This one here is actually an interesting one. So the seasons are usually potent on this realm, causing constant change and turmoil. Each season, a part of the land is transformed into different climes and province features. Each season, different weather effects are active. All units become vulnerable to blight, fire, lightning, or frost. According to the season, so mutually exclusive with a few of the other ones. But the warped seasons one here is sort of like it reminded me, like the description of it, to the Chronicles of Thomas Covenant. If you ever read that series of books, where the world is sort of like warped. That he's sort of in, where the seasons are very, very short, but they completely destroy the world. They don't destroy the world in this instance, but they do affect it. So the warped seasons is something you can play with the climates. Back in through here, inhabitants traits. I think we've got a few of them in here. Yeah, we do actually have a few. Mistwalker incursion. So the Mistwalkers have invaded the realm, setting up a permanent military presence. Mistwalker camp infestations are common. The Mistwalkers are a new group, I think, of creatures that have actually sort of come back through. So these are sylvan almost, sort of like they're not like not sylvan like elves. These are sylvan. As in, I think I call them the Duatha in some of the story elements. So that's actually what this one's got. That's the only one that's sort of come back into that side. Back in here with the presence that we actually have, nothing in there from this new DLC. Coming back into the miscellaneous traits, back into this other side, there's a few of them. Shrouded Isles. This is probably going to be, I'm going to have this turned on, I think, for this from going forward as a default sort of start for me in the different things. I really like the idea. I just hope that this gets fleshed right out. So so you can see there it's mutually exclusive with the Umbral Abyss, Subdued Umbral Abyss. So you can't have the Umbral Realm when you've actually got the Shrouded Isles on. But I really like the idea of this one. What else have we got in through here? I think there's more. We saw it. No, see how it's not showing up in here. So we don't get to look at them. But yet there are more when we have a look at and I don't know why we can't use them in this particular location. Yeah, because when we go to the story realms, they actually do have other ones that kick in as well, but just not sort of shown in through here. The other thing is, if we go to my Pantheon and go and look at the rewards, I've got 12 saved up. All the new stuff is now on page 2 as they sort of start to flesh things out. There's not a hell of a lot that has now come back through into this particular run, and so we've got things sort of like a lot of things that are now just part of the like the Hunter's Hat. Don't even know if that was there from before, to be honest. Hunter's Outfit. There's banner icons. Astral, so this unlocks a new hero cape customization. None of these are really all that important. All the other DLCs have ended up with different aesthetics that actually then sort of where you can transform your game. But in this case, I don't think there's any of those in this instance. So again, Magic Shield. This is going to be again for item forging, item forge. Great Sword, Item Forge again. So this is actually, we saw Yasriel there before. This is his sword that you can then unlock. Arachnus Crown, so unlock the new Hero Helmet customization option for your ruler. Bird Nest, back and through this other side. Again, different sorts of customizations coming from the stories, I think. Inferno Mount, Exotic Mount, so if you are wanting to get that one as an example. I did purposely save some of these up, so I could actually go and pick up these and just pick a few of these just to sort of go and grab them. Hero Cape. What do we have there? This is an Inferno Orb. I'll grab that one. That's probably going to be more useful. And so I can actually sort of go and just unlock these. I've got 8 left. Arachnus Spider Legs. So this unlocks a new Hero Cape customization option for your ruler or hero. That'd be a fun one as well. What else do we have over through here? Cat Ears and Tail. Maybe not so much. So if we go that way there, we've got Arachnus Crown. If we go this side, Mistwalker, banner icon. And if I just go and grab that, this is also a new aspect of the game. Is these spider legs? Now this is a different one with the cape as such, but there are certain now permanent things you can now do to your faction to make them into an arachnid type faction as well. So, but not from the very, very start. I don't think you can actually do that one from the very, very start. So we've that's pretty much got everything covered. That was pretty quick actually, just to go through what it actually does have. So let's just go and exit from that. Do we play a random game, or do we play the one that I really probably don't really want to be playing, to be honest, which is for the story realms? You've got Burrow Downs. And what this is, Burrow Downs is the Secrets of the Archmage's story realm. I'll talk a little bit about this particular one. This one here is all about demonic forces, Azran's Pit, which is, I think, like that's going to be a big one for people to go and play. Burrow Downs is like Watership Downs with all the animals and halflings. What could possibly go wrong? If you're new to the channel, you may not know that halflings are my absolute bane. Absolutely hate them. And if it's Divergent, I thought it may be fun to sort of play where we try to be as divergent as we possibly can from the actual halfling character in this one. If I go and start this one and just sort of show you what I mean, like if I just go and select it, so I'll just go and choose this one. You see how this one's got, like, it's got the Burrowed Realm. And so this is actually one that we didn't have access to, and I'm not sure why we don't actually have access to this one here. These are special things that have come back through. Warp Seasons we saw, Mistwalker Incursions we saw, and Shrouded Isles we saw, but we didn't see this one before. So Burrowed Realm, these people in this realm live in burrows dug beneath the hilly landscape. A mountain province of features are rare, hills are common, free cities only exist in the underground. All free cities and marauder races have animalistic forms. So this one here, we're playing the opposite of what I would normally play. I normally turn off the animal forces in the game and just play with stock standard Lord of the Rings style forces, because you can sort of tweak them to however you want to be playing them. And in this case, you are using, so following the Fey guide Dornusk, you venture into the Fey realm of Duatha to rescue Hambinger. Hambinger is a, I don't know, I think Hambinger may have come in Age of Wonders 2 even, I think. I know that he was actually the main character that brought in my hatred of halflings. He is the actual halfling that I remember from Age of Wonders 3 that sort of started off my, as I said before, my absolute hatred of the halfling faction in different games, particularly in Age of Wonders 3. Age of Wonders 4, it's not so bad, but Age of Wonders 3 was terrible, absolutely terrible. So in this case, we have to then go and rescue Hambinger from the Duatha. So the Duatha, shrouds and mysteries surround the Duatha, lords of the Fey realm Duatha. I don't think there's a way to pronounce those words. It's almost like Thuatha. It's like it's a th. Those D's are like a th as well, but a like a clunky th. I think is how they like. I think it's Celtic. Anyway. Very particular, their lands under the undisputed rule, so there is occasional evidence that their arcane powers may outmatch those of the Godir. Look, if we play this one, I'll probably end up playing as a Ratkin force rather than the new Alkin force, and we can just play as rats and see if we can upset the halflings. I'm not sure how divergent this particular one is. So anyway, that's the realm setup with what we end up having. So guys, do we play this story with the halflings and with the furry creatures and all those sorts of things, or do we start and just do a random map? So what I'll do is, if you just type a 1 is Duatha is orangutan saying it's pronounced Duatha. So it is actually still a D. Duatha. Well, that's how it's pronounced. That's how it's spelt. So anyway. Yeah, that's exactly how it's spelled. Anyway, that's fine. All right, so that was a poor joke. Oh, okay, it's a joke, right. I think it's supposed to be Thwathaday, or something like that. Anyway. All right, so we can play this realm. We'll play it on just normal if we're going to be playing it, I think. Or hard, seasoned veteran. We can play it on hard mode. That could be a bit different. Let me know, actually. So number 1, if you want me to play this particular Burrow Downs with the furry creatures and the halfling that we're trying to rescue. We do have to. I think we have to try to rescue him. I don't think we've got any choice. But this will be a full story realm. These story realms, as I said before, are much more rich and deeper than what the previous ones have been. Okay, we've got a couple of number 1s, so we get to play with all the new stuff. Okay, so let's save the halflings. So we'll go and save the halflings then in this case. And are you happy for me to play a halfling run? I know a lot of people actually want that. So let's go and do it. I did do a bit of a test run on this one, to be honest, just to sort of give it see what the game was like, just to get a feel for the stories. Let's go next in this case. Now, the form that we have, We can create our own faction. There's, as I said before, there's not a hell of a lot in the faction creation that we can then go and do. If we go and let's go and should we play as rats and see if we can upset everything that's going on in this game? Most of the animals are going to be like they're going to be alkins, harefolk. This is really Watership Down. This is a Watership Down story. They're going to have goatkin, I would imagine, lupine, avian potentially, halflings maybe. I'm not even sure if halflings are in this one. Feline potentially, rats is what we'll do, but toadkins and molekins. We're going to see lots of molekins and stuff like this one here. So, but I think we'll go rats. So, are story realm maps procedurally generated? Not the stories, of course. Yes, they are, to a degree. They showed us actually how, like again at Triumph Studios, they showed how the random maps are created. It's actually really, really interesting. Even the standard random maps have still got like a, what they do is they actually have like a, like the broad map, they actually position certain things sort of randomly within algorithmically for generating the map. Like certain things will be within a certain distance of you, etc., by default. From that point, it then ends up sort of like shuffling around and sort of ends up sort of so it ends up sort of like almost as if it's been put into like a jelly and then shaken, and you end up with things a bit all over the place. So it is different every time you play it, but it's not dramatically different every time you play it because of the way that they've sort of the way their random map generation does work. It was brilliant seeing what they do. Like it's such a clever company. Anyway, I think we'll play as the rats. This is an old faction. This is one of the original factions from Age of Wonders 4. So let's go and upset the. If I had weasels, I'd play weasels because that's if you've ever watched or read Watership Down, I think the weasels were the. Pretty sure that was that story where the weasels were the enemy in that particular one. But we'll play the rats are about as close as we have. Actually, weaselkin would actually be an interesting one. Wonder if lupine would be close enough to weasel, but I think ratkin is probably going to be the better one for us. But it's one of these things. When I heard it was like a mainly story-driven realm, I was thinking, it's not probably this was the first DLC that wasn't for me. But when I saw Shrouded Isles, it was actually. I love Warlock 2, for example. I absolutely love that game. And this one reminds me now of we end up with essentially these small little worlds that we can go into. They're much smaller than the Warlock 2 worlds, but they are still little worlds that we still get to interact with and get benefit from. So it will actually change base game stuff, random game stuff as well, having those Shrouded Isles turned on. Right, so Ratkins, let's go in and look at the traits that we actually have. I don't think there's anything else that we can actually go and do. Now, if we have a look at... I wanted to see if the ones we saw there were actually going to be... Oh, there we go. Yeah, Weaver Spider Mounts. These are new. This is also, like you can see, the SA. And so this one here is mounted units are more common and gain a Weaver Spider Mount. If we go and have a look at that one, let's just go and turn off the other mounts, the other bits and pieces for a second. So offensively, we've got Overwhelm Tactics. I'll just turn that one off. And what do we have? We also then had, just turn that one back up again. Defense, we also then had Quick Reflexes. I'll just turn them off, which should then give me enough for the for that mount just to be able to sort of show the mounts. So Weaver Spider Mounts back into here. So this one here, I'm not going to see it here until we actually sort of go further out. So mounted units are more common and gain a Weaver Spider Mount. So this one gains the web ability, gains Swift. So this unit ignores the effects of slowing terrain in combat. Additional units become cavalry. So again, there's certain units that have got a 50-50 aspect to how they then work. And so this one actually is where you will end up with more cavalry than not. Ruler starts with a Weaver Spider Mount back into here as well. So these are not super powerful. Just go and deselect that one. I don't think there's anything else can see that we've got other things we can sort of go and do with this depending on what we actually have. Let's go and see if there's any others in these. I don't think the floors have been fleshed out. The floors I don't think are worth getting at all ever, so I would never recommend those. Utility, there's nothing there from the DLC. Defense, nothing much there from the DLC either. Offense, nothing there. Adaptations, and nothing there either. And again, I would avoid these unless you know exactly what you're going into. Alright, so well, we might as well take those spider mounts because they are part of the DLC, so we'll sort of err that way. Go and grab those, which means that we still actually have, probably go back to the defense ones in through here. Quick reflexes, useful for approaching enemy range units, so 25% harder to hit by ranged attacks. Do we want to do that one, or we've got the offense as well, which was the overwhelm tactics. Plus 20% critical hit chance when standing next to a friendly unit with overwhelm tactics. This does not stack. Maybe we'll go that way and see how we go. So we'll just go overwhelm tactics in that instance. So that then gets all of our points spent. Just go confirm. So we've changed a few little things around in here. So just go select. And you can see there we've now got a few units that are now on these spiders. Are they melded? No, they're still sitting on top of the spider. But there is a new form now that you can actually go and create where you end up with the spider as being part of the actual unit itself as well. I don't know if that's base game. It may have to be base game that's coming back in. I'm just going to grab myself a drink of water. I'll be right back. Right, back we go. Okay, so as I was saying, the next to last faction I played was Ratkin, Liberated Lab Rats. There we are. Reading a few of the other comments. Would be good to play with all the new stuff. Yep. So Generalissimo of London saying, wish this game didn't run like crap for me. Cool stream, cool channel. Thank you for that. Yeah, I've got a pretty good system. Like it's about 5 years old now, my system, but it was really, really good when like 5 years ago, and it's still, I've got a heap of RAM, so it's hard for me to comment. I also have AMD drivers, which sometimes causes issues. Anyway, let's keep on going back through. Now, one of the things that I will give a bit of a tip. I'll probably end up doing a video on this actually, but the devs at Triumph actually showed us how they plan of different cultures, and so there's actually, if you're wanting to get the epitome of a culture, you look at the tier 2 units, and there'll be one tier 2 unit that epitomizes feudal or high or any of the other different sorts of groups that we actually have in through here. Now, we don't actually have any new factions or new cultures as such that do come back in through this other side. They have fleshed them out a bit over time. Like, for example, feudal is now, you've got monarchy and aristocracy. This is one thing that monarchy feudal, if you are struggling with understanding the game and getting into the game, monarchy feudal is the easiest way to play the game in Age of Wonders 4. So if you're new to the game, go that one, feudal monarchy. And because this was actually brought up when we were talking with the devs, it was like, why is this so much easier than everything else? This is because this is their tutorial style faction, or culture. So they reckon this. They don't say it, but this is actually the one what they want people to do is to actually go and get used to the game using this particular one. It makes it so much easier to pick up the game. So this one does have more advantages than any other culture. So if you are looking for an easy-ish run, that is now this is the way: monarchy, feudal. Aristocracy then changes things a little bit, but monarchy feudal is the tutorial run in the game. So just so that you're aware, it is fun to play actually. But it means you've got an extremely strong monarchy stack. whoever your leader is, she ends up getting it's free upkeep for anyone that's with her. So the more powerful units that she can, or he or she can actually have in the faction, the better off it's going to be. All right, so we've got Feudal is backing through that other side. High, we don't want to be playing. Feudal, we could play. I mean, it's Monarchy is going to be probably a little bit too easy, I think. And now that they told me that, I probably won't play it as much as what I would like to, because it really is very, very cool. High, we won't play. But this will then come down to, again, whatever the tier 2 unit is going to be the epitome of that particular culture. If you're trying to understand what that means, one way you can do that is to go back into the encyclopedia for the game itself. You've got different styles back up through this other side as well. Like, so you've got like the what's this one here? This is the cultures, and through this other side, if I go to the units and then go into, for example, the feudal culture, if I look at the tier 2 units, one of them will be the aspirant knight. This is the epitome of feudal culture. So the tier 2 unit is going to be what it's going to epitomize what feudal is all about. If I go into, for example, high, which was the other one we just sort of saw, the tier 2 is the sun priest, and so this is the epitome of a high unit with spirit blast, etc., back in through there. Go back into barbarian. Tier 2 unit there is with the war shaman, but we've also got the fury. So the fury is going to be sort of like, I think, the epitome of how that one does work. So they sort of told us that the special ones that they actually have in tier 2 are sort of where when they design a new culture, they sort of start here and then work out backwards and forwards to then flesh out the rest of what's going to be around it. But this becomes essentially the aspect of that particular culture. So it's a way of looking at a culture to sort of see this one here as this is the mystics, which would ultimately be, like, you've got the spell shield there as again as well, with stunning flash, etc. So these are sort of the aspects that we sort of see through here as well. Dark culture, we've got a fair few because this one also splits off, but it will ultimately be either the warlock or the mortalist back in through this other side will be the epitome of the dark culture. So sort of more magic. We've already done high. Anyway, that's one way to look at this as well. Just looking at the tier 2s gives you a bit of a feel. If you're new to the game, it's not as pronounced as some other games, but that was something. It was interesting to sort of see how they build these things. So Big K is saying, I love all your streams. Been catching up on YouTube. Thank you. I will actually be changing what I do on YouTube fairly soon. I do have a second or third channel actually, which I'll be putting live streams onto more than not. But I've just got to develop it all up. I've sort of got it ready to go, but I just haven't actually sort of clicked the button on it yet. I set it up over a year ago. But I still haven't actually sort of fleshed out that particular channel. So a lot of these YouTube live streams will no longer be on this channel, but I'll let people know well and truly in advance when I do go and do that. The first ones will. Anyway, this is which one should we go with? Oathsworn is. I don't love the Oathsworn aspect. This is probably my least favourite culture. Nomad I won't worry about. That's not going to really work. Reaver's not going to really worry about it. Like, this one's got cannons and so on and so forth. Primal. We haven't played Primal for a long time. For a long time, actually. That one might be okay. Dark, if we're going to sort of go and play as something a bit more aggressive. We've got Tyranny and Cult of Death, or just Mystic. I don't think Mystic. I'm sort of coming back to some of the stock standards, just thinking about it. So Boland's saying, hey Daz, have you tried any challenging, strange combinations that don't work well together and made them work anyway? Yeah, I guess I always try to make them thematic usually, so not really. In this instance, we'll have to try to make them work. Do we go back to maybe even just Barbarian? Let's go a Barbarian run here. The Barbarians have only got like a single... I don't know if this will ever be fleshed out, but the Barbarians are an interesting little group. I think playing as the rats, that sort of works, I think. So Chaos as well as Nature. Let's just go that side. select those. The affinities are important for what you get. These are this is what Boland is actually is sort of talking about here. The trait points in through here with the with unusual society traits. If you see the little symbol here, these have come from the Pantheon, and this is actually what I think a lot of people actually look for, is to see if there's any more things that have come through to get the unusual combinations. In this case, I think we'll avoid all of the order stuff, so we won't do any of those. We won't even bother looking at those. Then we actually have these. Now, Chosen Destroyers is going to be, it may destroy the story, so I don't want to go that one through there. Merciless Slavers may also destroy the story a little bit as well. Not so much, but I don't think it's going to work. Prolific Swarmers. This one here I will actually go with. This is a base level one. Let's go with this one's Chaos. We've got to pick two of them. So we get Prolific Swarmers in through here. So they find their strength in fast population growth and overwhelming numbers, which sort of works for rats. So let's go that way through there. And we'll actually go down to Nature, I think, and we'll just have a quick look and see. We've got Apex Predators. This was an interesting one. They believe themselves to be the top of the food chain, to be weakest, to be their prey. So this is all about pillaging, raising provinces, getting different food. Vassals grant plus 10 food per population, and it's an evil one as well. Starting units get +1 rank. We could play that way. This one's an interesting one again. So yeah, they believe themselves to be top of the food chain, to be weakest, to be their prey. I think in a Watership Downs type situation, that would be a good one. That'd be a fun one to play. Terraformers, Seafarers, Fabled Hunters. I don't think so. Talented Collectors. Fashioned by rare material. I think we'll go Apex Predators. This one is an unlock. Excuse me, from the that's from the last DLC, I think. Okay, that'll do us. These actually really change the flavour of the culture. These are great. Alright, then we have things like Tome of the Horde. I'm actually happy with that. There are new ones in here. There's a fair few new tomes. I don't think I can show the whole tomes just yet until we actually get into it. There's a couple of tier 1s. Here we go. So Tome of Gluttony has come through. And so gain control over the infernal domain of gluttony, making your units harder to kill and stronger as they feed on mortal essences. So you've got illusory feasts, you've got gluttonous imps, demonic hunger, infernal jaws, and corrupt pact. Probably not one that really resonates with me, to be honest. Not even for this run. It's just probably one that I'm not really all that interested in. Just see if I can find. There's a few of them, I think, in this first one. Maybe not. Maybe it might be. Here we go. Yeah, the Tome of Objuration. So creates wards and protections to preserve your units. So we end up with sort of like city wards. You've got glyphs that can then sort of come in and put up battle shields around your different units. So this is all about defense. Mage armor. So if you're playing as a magic force, this one may be a good one to go with. It's a combination of astral and order, and through there with the for that sort of is working. I thought there was 3 in this first one. I may go for that one wrong. I've already gone. Yeah, I've gone past it. Well, I think the one it's sort of selected for us, Tome of the Horde, sort of works for us. This one I think actually sort of is a good one. We get Spawnkin. So this one here makes the target race smaller and more numerous. So we end up with more of them, and I think that's a good way for us to sort of start the game. So I think we'll actually go that way. There was Tome of the Warband as well. Got the Lieutenant. I think we'll just go back to this other one here, just Tome of the Horde. So we'll select that one there. Now, choosing your flavour of king or like your actual ruler is very, very important. If you choose a champion, they do actually have a lot of advantages, but they've come from that particular story realm. And so if we choose a champion, in this case, they will be ratkins. If we choose a wizard king, as an example, back in through this other side, these can be of any type. We can have anything come through. These are essentially taking over the group, and so like it's almost like I was trying to think of an analogy, and the only one I can think of is if we were playing as turtles, so Turtlekin, then they could have a rat can come in as the Wizard King, a bit like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, with their with their leader being the that big rat. I forget his name. Dragons, you need to have the dragon DLC. I won't play as a dragon; they're sort of a bit overwhelming. Eldritch we don't want to be playing as well. Giants, not really. Vampires. It could be fun. It could be fun. It's sort of it's because of the sunless terrain. That's going to make life a bit too difficult for us. I think we'll just play as champion or the champion. Like it's sort of. It gives you a lot of benefit. It's a simple way to play the game. So if you're newish to the game, and this is the default again, it's a good way to go. The Wizard Kings are interesting, but they actually have but there's less morale. There's less connection with the force that you're playing with. But if we go with a champion, these are of the people. So mortal champions have access to unique army leaderships and leadership hero skills, and these are incredibly strong. Like these are like this. It doesn't say exactly what they are, but this one allows you to give specific orders to your followers during battle, and ultimately it's such a powerful way to play this one. They gain experience faster. They start with extra relation with free cities because they're from the actual world itself. Mortal Champion rulers start with the command ability in combat. The command ability is the one I was talking about. This one actually is something that just the champions have, and Mortal Champions are champion governors as well. Let's go and select that one, which means that we have to play as a Ratkin ruler. And so this is the randomly generated Ratkin ruler. And again, if just to sort of try to cut to the chase with this one, actually I just better check my timing. Yeah, that's okay. I've got half an hour left, unfortunately, guys. We're only just going to get started before, but I will be playing it again tomorrow. Choose when you go down. There's actually a pose down in here. Change that one. Change the pose all the way back to number 1. So the very, very first one. That way you'll see what they look like with all of their equipment on. The other poses will sort of then take the equipment off, but the pose you want to have, and I wish by default it would start off with number 1, because it's very easy to forget that you've actually got changes here that you can make as well. So we have to think about what style of ruler we want to actually have, so like what flavour. So we've got warrior, defender, ranger, elementalist, ritualist, warlock, and battle saint, and spellblade. Spellblade is fairly open. It allows us to go into either melee or magic, which is actually fairly cool. I might go that way, just so we've got like a bit of a choice between which way we go. And if I do that one, I do actually have the choice between things like axe and shield. We've got also then stuff like, for example, there's heaps of them here. Shadow blades. What is that one there? This is double blades. That one looks pretty cool. So he's got sort of like a different type of equipment. Slayer sword is that looks awesome. This one here is going to be a charging unit. Martial Cetus, again charging unit. There's charging units and shield units basically, or archer type units. I think I'll go with more of a shield type unit, to be honest. Axe and shield, great axe, bow, javelin. So a bit of a skirmisher type of effect there. Sword and net. Now that's I forget what this one's skirmisher as well. I think if we go that way. What do we got? Torrent, sword, and shield. Maybe let's just use that, the Torrent's short sword and shield. So we'll put him into, keep him as a spellblade though. That way we can still go into the magical sort of style of things. Physique, sort of got like the different physiques. I'll make him just through the middle of the run and through this other side. Tail length, extremely long. There, that's... Yeah, I'll just make it really long. Skin colour. It's got to be grey. Skin decorations, we'll just go none. So he's just going to be a black rat, basically. We can do this race as well. We've got the ruler and the race, so we can sort of change the way the race looks. The head, we've got different style of heads in through this other side. Go that way, I think. That's more Watership Down, though, isn't it? It's a Watership Down rat, that's fine. Head size, eye colour I'm happy with. Hairstyle, I don't know if we've got many that we can... I've got a few different things we can do in through here. Top knot. Yeah, they'll do that one there, I think. Or just get rid of them entirely. Probably get rid of them entirely. I think that looks fine. Eyebrows. I'll go the first one. And beard style. Yeah, I'll probably get rid of them entirely, I think. That one's not terrible. I can't hardly see that one. There's a beard underneath there. I'll just get rid of it. Hair root colour. Again, we'll just make it dark. Hair tip colour, we'll keep it black. Actually, if we go with... It's only going to be affecting those. That's okay. We'll just leave it that way. The outfit, we've got a few different sorts of outfits we can then go and choose. That'll do. Helmet. I don't think we'll worry about the helmet for him. The cape. So we've got a heap of these. Some of these have been unlocked in the Pantheon. Feathers. That'll do. Just leave it there. Armor colour. Again, I'll just make it a bronzy sort of look, or a sort of dull sort of look there. So that's them. The race themselves as well. The army skin colour. We'll make them also the grey rats. Army hair colour. We'll make them also grey. The heads are going to be fine. Again, arm length. I'll just keep them all in the middle. So it's okay there. Skin decorations. So we do actually have a few of these that we can then go and do, but I'll just go and get rid of all of the skin decorations as well. Tail length is okay. Army mount type. So that one, we can't actually change that because we do actually have the group that's actually already in there. So we just go and select that one. Actually, now the actual faction, we don't want a wand as what we then go and do. So we've got Pantheon unlocks, we've got emblems back in through here. If we have a look at the, these are sort of like the Elfkin ones that did come back through. We do have a Chaos Affinity, where we do actually have a few of these as well. Let's just go with these. The seduction aspect of these, you can see in through there as well. Like there is actually now I'll go with the flames. Color-wise, I will choose like a dark red. And we'll go with like an orange colour, I think. So we'll make that the force. You can see it's now changing the colour of what they do as well. I'm not playing with any mods either, by the way, guys. This is all sort of base game stuff that we're sort of looking at through here. I can change the lighting to see what they look like in different lighting as well. Just gives me a bit of a feel. So we'll go and select. Title is going to be a Warlord, Jord Bone Mauler. The Ratty Barbarians, that looks good, and Whetstone is going to be the name of the city. I'm actually happy with all of that, so we'll just go onwards. Advanced settings, if you end up having this one play against you as an AI, you can go into here and actually sort of change different things about getting a list of names for city names and heroes, etc., etc. So you can actually sort of put those things in there. So we'll just go onwards, back and through this other side. So where we are. Now, I'm going to have to get going. Unfortunately, we really only just did a summary of what the DLC has got before we then play it properly tomorrow.
And their allies. Other forces, both forgotten and new, stirred in the shadows, silently exploiting this opportunity to challenge the established balance of power. Chief among those rising forces were the Mistwalkers, servants of the Duathidae.
Duathidae, that's how she pronounced it.
Called the Toll of Seasons, throughout the Astral Sea.
All right, so Toll of Seasons throughout the Astral Sea. We'll just go next. So this is actually, these are the Mistwalker type units. They're sort of like corrupted Fey units.
The Mistwalkers had become more active.
Is that loud enough for you guys?
The worlds to their Fey realm of Duatha. And unlike in the past, they no longer left the raided lands, instead establishing permanent presences, watching over the spreading mists. Rumours of Godir, captured and turned by the Fey Lords to carry out their sinister orders, were whispered in fear, even in the untouchable towers of Magehaven.
I've got to say, I really like this, the voice actress who's actually been sort of doing all of this stuff for Age of Wonders 4. She's really good. Like I really like her style. Like it's a nice, nice clear presentation always.
In the wake of these rumours, a solitary sprite called Dornask emerged from Duatha, searching the worlds within for a Godir who would answer his plea for help. For the legendary adventurer and storyteller Hambinger had
the
fallen
halfling.
victim to the Toll of Seasons and been brought before the Duathidae for judgment.
So Hambinger is like the halfling character, definitely from Age of Wonders 3, but I think he was also, could have even been Age of Wonders 1. He was one of the major characters. There is actually a spoiler, which I'm not going to give you the spoiler. It should come up during the course of this run through about Hambinger, who Hambinger really is. Anyway, for us at this point in time, he's a halfling leader. a legendary adventurer and storyteller Hambinger has fallen victim to the Toll of Seasons, and been brought before the Duathidae for judgment.
Trust was scarce for the words of a Fae in these times of fear, and Dornask had to rely on his elusive Fae magic to escape the anger of many a wizard who would try to capture or kill him. But at last, the sprite found a bold Godir willing to venture into the Fey realm and rescue Hambinger. So they took a deep breath, strode into a Fey fissure, and plunged into the mists of Duatha.
But we're really here for plunder. We're not here to rescue a halfling. We hate halflings. So when we start, we don't actually have a city in this particular story. And this is cool. Okay, when I did my test run, this was not the layout. So that, yeah, it is randomizing things really quite nicely. I did figure out a way, though, to sort of milk what we have in this particular run. So we are playing on hard mode. We've got the new ruler emerges, so we are going to have to be a bit careful. We've already gone through all of these different bits and pieces that we actually end up having. Let's go and click on OK. We're starting magic is Song of the Reckless, so that's not something I'm really going to be using, I don't think. And then Fury of the Hordes. So this is a buff spell, so tier 1 and 2 friendly units in a 2 hex radius, gain 2 stacks of strength, and probably not going to use either one of those, to be honest. Now, all of these story things are important, so I will read them out. Down the rabbit hole. So still befuddled by the fury of sensations within the Fey fissure. Sorry, you hear the chittering voice of your Fey guide, Dornask, prancing around you. No time to sleep, no time to peep. Make haste, Master Wizard. Don't waste your breath. Deep in Duatha, the slow find death. The words sputter from Dornask's mouth like water from a fountain. Anxiously fluttering up and down, the little sprite awaits a reaction. We mustn't stay in the mist. They see, they find, they twist. Our lords, they love to play. We are the pawns and must obey. Oh, I love these sorts of stories. Anyway, while Dornask's chatter goes on and on, you reflect on the dangerous path ahead. Luckily, you brought some specialists. So anyway, the result, while you have no throne city, you must protect your ruler at all cost. If we lose our ruler in this first phase of the game, until we actually get a throne city, we lose the game. So we end up with, we have to make a choice here. The Berserker, paragon of your people's military traditions. You gain a Berserker of the ratty. So we end up with getting a tier 3 Berserker unit back in through this other side. A Fiendish Assistant, so you end up with a Nightmare unit. This will be a essentially a demonic horse, or with my trusted companion Blaze. You end up with a Spirit Wolf unit. And again, this one's got like a magic strike. This one here has got the charge strike, and the Berserker has got charge strike again. I think we'll go with a Berserker just because he's going to be a ratty barbarian as well. So let's go that way. So a homely hideout. So this is a Pantheon quest. So what we need to reach the Polari shelter. So Swift Master Wizard, go to this shelter, go. Dornask's friends dwell near in their cozy burrow. So while Dornask through movements and gestures, I'll try to be as animated as I can when I do Dornask's stuff, but it's just not my personality. So he continues to hurry along. He tells you more about these friends waiting ahead. Polari have fur, feather, claw, tail, snout, beak, and paw. From Duatha's oldest dreams they come. They brought their joy, they gave their names, but oh, nasty things did the Fae, woe betide. Remaining Polari in the caverns now hide. So if we overlook the Polari, these are, so not much is known about the Polari from reports in the Fae realm. Duatha scarce. So they are essentially the not the ratkins, all the furry creatures, the hares, all the stuff anyway. They do not grudge, they do not judge, the little sprite ends his speech. Polari welcome all in their comfy halls. Well, they're welcoming rats in. Maybe that won't go that well for them. Tell Dornask to lead the way. So we accept the quest, but we've got no choice here, and we do get a knowledge reward if we do go and do this one through here. So we need to find the Polari shelter, which is here. So this is where we have to get to, which is not that far away from where we are. So you can see there's mist all the way through the territory that we actually have in through this other side, and we can see that there's a pathway through. So now we just start and I will have to get going in just a minute, but we'll just go and set the arcane research. Spawnkin ultimately is going to be we've got the Houndmaster, which would be a nice one for us to round things out, but it's tier 2. We don't have access to that one. We do have access into this one here, this minor race transformation. That's going to be an important one for us, even though it's going to take infinity for us to go and get it at this stage. It says 1 turn remaining, but I don't think we're going to get that in 1 turn. Anyway, having a look at our actual units that we actually have in through this other side. So our group does actually have now this Berserker unit, so a big shock unit. There's the Morning Sprite, which is the, whatever his name is. Can't think of what his name actually is. What is his name? Dornask, there we go. This unit has control loss immunity and shifts between its Morning Sprite and Evening Sprite. So there's sort of like a good form and an evil form. So the Evening Sprite is more of a Moon Bolts, whereas the Morning Sprite is Fen Fire Blast. So these are very specific types of units. It's our Fey guide through this particular mission. Let's go and close that one. We should also then have a scout unit. I'm going to split the scout unit off from the others. The way that the game has now changed for the last couple of months is that on the actual overmap, scout units get a little bit more movement than the other units. So we're just going to go and start to sort of scout our way ahead a little bit. They should be able to ultimately just go a little bit further than what we want to go through there. Now, if we have a look at this one here, just again hover over things. Like if we go into that little forest there, you'll see it's 8 movement points. The reason I've got the same movement points here as if I go and choose, one of these guys, is because we can't see what's out that way. But to get into one of these locations, that's also 8. So the total is going to be 6, 6, 8, 6, 6. Which just sort of gets me one way or another. I've still got to go and get one of these locations. So the total movement points, whether I end up there or there, is still going to be identical. And it looks like we still don't get any real benefit. I don't think we can go easily this way, but I might go into that corner with just the scout. Oh, that one chose. Damn, it went through both that we didn't really want it to go through. But I want this one to get ahead of the others a little bit. So I'll just move it up to there. In the mist, we don't get to see too much of what's going on. So it's very hard to sort of spot. So these mist areas are a bit more difficult to contend with. And so we'll now bring, these ones can't quite match up. This one we just have to follow along. You see that they've all got the same movement. These are all 40 as well. Let's move them up as well. Okay, we'll end our turn there. So that's the end of the first turn. Now we can see that there's like some sort of border there. This is what we'll probably have to destroy. Just coming back through. So opponents are moving. There's actually a lot of different opponents on the map that we'll sort of come across just as a bit of a warning. Okay, beckoning of spring. As you continue to follow Dornusk through the fogged tunnels, a rejuvenating breeze carries the smell of fresh leaves into the underground. "Oh, spring," Dornusk begins to chant, while mushrooms and moss sprout in large patches where the wind has touched the barren stone. "New life you bring, you sprung, tickled my tongue." I hate this, guys. I hate this. Then like a bee, stung flung your poisonous dung, while the bird sung to the morning still young. The sprite giggles, blissfully looping the loop. Wonderful. What a wonderful story. The seasons they fly, Dornusk explains, still chuckling. "Oh, Duatha, winter is always nigh." So result, the warped seasons happening is active on this realm, transforming the map and impacting units and provinces with varying global effects per season. We must learn to adapt to this ever-shifting realm. Yeah, it's a... this is why I tend to play the Lord of the Rings style thing. It's well written, but it's just it's not my style of playing the game anyway. You know I'm playing this through sufferance, guys. You know that. Now, I'm going to be wanting to still just keep on moving everyone up, so the full group. We do have like 3 different shield units. We do have a skirmisher unit and a support unit there, a war shaman. And these are all just going through the six movement points down through this other side. I'll just move this one now inside the area. So we're moving it inside like a red zone, which is going to be probably from that one there, I would guess. This one here, we're just going to keep on moving that one up in behind as well. I want to make sure that I've got full support everywhere. Okay, so Duath, I think that this one, the Morning Sprite can see clearly ahead. We've got everyone's hidden, which is good. So we do actually have like a sneaking ability. Now that's the limit of support for this unit. Let's just keep on moving it up. I'm going to take it outside the support limit for the combat. I don't think there'll be wandering stacks just yet, and we want to get as far ahead with this scout unit as we can. End our turn again. Get more of the story down the rabbit hole. Yeah, it really is Watership Down. It really is. It is actually. It's you'll find that as we get into it. It's as Watership Down as any Age of Wonder story can be. That is the approach that they've taken. All right, we'll go and have a look at what we're dealing with. Here we go. So a homely hideout, aftermath. So entering the large cavern with the supposed Polari hideout, the mists are briefly clear, revealing a terrible scene. Ravaged and cave in, the burrows of the Polari smoulder in the dim darkness. Pale figures patrol the pathways, rounding up the surviving Polari, and force them into cages, like animals. Well, they are animals. At the heart of the gutted hideout, a crude encampment has been raised, adorned with the skull of a stag, dreaded symbol of the Mistwalkers and their scourges. Moments later, we're getting a little bit divergent away from Watership Down now. Moments later, the area becomes shrouded again, but you have seen enough. The Mistwalkers have arrived here first. So the result, Lord Bone Mauler receives 80 knowledge, and Spawnkin changes from 0 to 0. There we go. So this is we get a bit of knowledge. We're not generating any knowledge, so that's why we can't sort of finish off things. We'll keep a close eye on Dornusk. So Dornusk is, of course, from this world and has been singing the praises of the Polari all the way through. Here he goes. He's changed. So Dornusk is he or she or it or whatever it is. So a ghastly revelation. So we need to destroy the infestation is what we need to do here. So we need to destroy this Mistwalker camp and the open creatures' cages to bolster your ranks. So shaken by the destruction of the hideout, Dornusk sobs while his skin and wings begin to change colour. Poor friends, here it ends, he whines, growing increasingly purple. Dornusk failed. Now the pale ones will take us, break us. No, he suddenly calls out with renewed fervour, and his eyes flash up like ghost lights. We take them, break them, strangle their throats, mangle their coats, sinew and bone stashed below stone. Dornusk's voice sharpens like a cold wind piercing through a shelter's cracks. Vile walkers will keel, peel, squeal, beweep their ordeal. Wow. Completing his eerie transformation, Dornusk is determined to take the Mistwalkers and liberate his Polari friends. So we've now shifted into it. He's now become an evening sprite. So it's the only way forward. So we must accept the quest, of course. We get a mystery bonus. So these are the cages of now. The Mistwalkers are still asleep, but we can get the Polari to help us. So we have these little small creature cages down through here. Now we'll get a few of these. I think we'll get a collection together before we take on these Mistwalkers. The Mistwalker camp is still asleep, and so if we go and click on the Mistwalker camp, it should tell us between 3 and 6 turns they'll be sleeping for. By moving the scout unit up ahead of the others, it allows me to move forward and get these released faster, or I can attack faster. So I've got a few different choices in here. So I can get to that one there, for example. So let's go and release this first one. Here we go. We've got Goatkin. So ghastly revelations, liberated warrior. Your troops have forced open a cage of Mistwalkers and freed another Polari. So, oh, praise be the good seasons, exclaims a warrior with great elation. We are sure as shucks that would end up as Feylord stew. Thank you, stranger. Let me and my kin ever be at your service. Deeply grateful, the liberated warrior joins the fight to rescue his brethren. You gain a warrior of the browsing Polari. We want to be back here within 2 turns with these guys. Together we will tear down the Mistwalker camp. Now we've still got 6 movement points there. I can move this one off in this direction. Hang on, if I just go and click on that one there. We're not seeing what this one actually is. So I can move this one off. This one's just a shield unit, just a tier 1. We've already got 3 of them anyway. Let's just see if we can get a few of the others. Now this is going through the forest there at 8 movement. Oh, okay, we can't grab that one easily. In that case, we'll come back. So getting rid of these is going to be not really an option until we have the full army there. So we'll actually deal with this just with the forces we have available to us. There's another one down that way. I'll take this group down this side here and liberate that one. The forces that we have through here, I'll just move them through towards the Mistwalker camp. We're still sort of sneaking our way through, but we are putting pressure on the Mistwalker camp that it will wake up. Okay, we're seeing whatever this one is, we can get to there. We'll end our turn, and I will have to make this my last turn. So we'll have to sort of play our first fight in the next one. There's more down this other side. We want to be back fairly soon. Yeah, 3 to 6 turns still. Let's move this one down. Yes, we'll pick up these as we go through. Alright, here we go. Now we've got a rabbit. So your troops have forced open the cage of the Mistwalkers, freeing another Polari. "Oh, praise be the good seasons!" exclaimed the Protector with great elation. "Are we sure as shucks that..." Yeah, okay, we've already read all these. It's the same storyline. Now, none of these... This one here can actually go a bit further and liberate this one here. So let's go and do that. Get all of these together. Oh, no, that one's still got elements. This one here is 488. What have we got in here? 325, 335. I'll go across to there. We might still come back down, I think, and take these bigger ones out before we take the Mistwalker camp. This one here, we'll just start to check out what's going on down this way as well. Should be able to go and grab that one. Another Goatkin, Feylord Stew yet again. Okay, so Feylords, yeah, this is a Duatha Day, back in through here again. So together we'll bring down the Mistwalker camp. So it's again, like, I'm being facetious with the voiceovers and stuff, but you can see it's actually not bad. Like, the actual story is, it is a good, it's well written. Well, it's well done. Move that one across. We need to have a stack before we can take that one, so we'll just bring these down before we can then sort of take this particular camp on. Our ruler has leveled up just from the exploration. This is where the mortal champions do actually have some very, very good aspects to them. There's like this one here where we end up with getting extra XP per turn for anyone in the stack is really worth its weight in gold. Foraging as well, this one regenerate the extra hit points is worth a lot. But this one here is great, this command. Now at the moment it takes up a full turn for us to go and do that one. We can either go to this one here, where target for any non-hero unit regains its action points, but it doesn't cost us any action points, which means we can actually still have our turn as well as give somebody else a second turn. This one here, we still take up our turn, but this one jumps to one additional target within 3 hexes. I like this one here, where we can be very specific about who we give it to, and we still get to have our full turn ourselves, because ultimately we should be fairly strong later in the game. I'm just going to confirm that one. This one, like, I could actually go the other way, but I do quite like that one. We'll just go and close that one off. And we'll see this one coming in. That one. Okay, they've all moved. All right, well, I actually do have to really get going, guys, so I'm going to have to leave it here. So thanks for watching. I will actually leave this session. So we've done a bit of an intro into the let's call it the Shrouded Isle DLC. For me, that's what it is. It's the Shrouded Isles. They're just awesome, absolutely awesome. We don't get to see any of them just yet, but they are amazing. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you tomorrow if you're around. Actually, George was saying Primal would be a fitting for this scenario. Sapio has redeemed a hero. We get the heroes in 7, so I'll try to remember. I may have to just redeem your points because I'll probably forget. So, so click saying, Uncle Daz, will you read us a story before bed? I'm doing my best, guys. I'm actually really doing my best to try to read properly. I'm channeling the storytelling side of things. Anyway, I do, like, I'm enjoying this. I'll catch you guys tomorrow if you're around.